carefully observed by the Everton fans and the Arsenal fans. Quite a few of them, by the way, over in the lower Bullens, over on the right-hand side near the Park End stand, and quite a few in the upper Bullens, that sort of smaller section away to the right. It's going to be Arsenal to kick off, attacking the Gladys Street end in the first half. The referee has a look around, waves, gets a signal from both of his goalkeepers, waits to get the signal, and we're underway at Goodison. Back it goes to the Arsenal goalkeeper, David Raya, from the kick-off. An early touch for him. Surprise inclusion at the expense of Aaron Ramsdale, but I'm sure, very likely, he could be back in on Wednesday when they take on PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League. Arsenal in possession, building from the back. Declan Rice out to go to the right-hand side. Back inside to Zinchenko, who's picked up position inside the centre circle.
He started in central midfield already, and he's demanding the ball, absolutely demanding the ball every time one of his centre backs gets it.
Declan Rice out to the right-hand side. Saka and Odegaard exchange passes. Odegaard edge of the penalty area. Declan Rice sweeps it into the path of Zinchenko. Out to the left to Martinelli. Well read there by Ashley Young in the right back position. His pass inside. Almost found Arnaud Danjuma. He wasn't alive to the situation maybe as early as he should have been.
No, I think he should have gone. No, Ashley Young did really, really well. That passing, that sequence of passing last looked very, very ominous. The back heel from Saka in the box, I thought they were going to score before he'd even touched the ball.
Arsenal have it again. Right hand side, Saka receives it from Declan Rice again. Back to Declan Rice, midway inside the Everton half. Zinchenko's central position, left-footed ball out to the left for Martinelli. Takes it down on his chest, prepared to run at Ashley Young, who got a touch on it, but Vieira turns it back to Martinelli. And they go back further to Zinchenko. In comes the cross. And it's headed behind by Everton's Dwight McNeil at the cost of a corner to Arsenal. In just the second minute of the game. They look ominously good in possession, don't they?
It's exciting, it's easy on the eye, and it's progressive. They don't keep the ball for the sake of it. They look to go forward if it's on.
And constant movement from all players.
Fantastic rotation of the players. Yeah, Rice and Zinchenko are two of the keys. Their movement is very, very difficult to pick up.
Here comes Saka with the corner. Right hand side, swings it in, headed away at the near post by Tarkowski. Good, powerful header from the Everton skipper, and out it goes for a throw-in. Level with the 6-yard box, maybe a little bit further back, probably level with the penalty spot. Throw in right hand side. Thrown short to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard goes back to Declan Rice. Rice sends it back to Saliba, and then Gabriel. Saliba. Declan Rice wants it. Zinchenko's there again. Declan Rice put under pressure there by Doucouré, and then Beto gives the hurry up to Saliba. Gabriel with the pass inside, and then Declan Rice out to the right hand side for Saka, running at Mikalenko. Arsenal, almost a deft touch put in. Odegaard edge of the penalty area.
That's got to be
good
obstruction.
Defending from Everton. It looked as though that was obstruction on Everton's Beto, but the referee.
Gabriel just didn't fancy the race, I don't think. It just came across him right in front of the referee.
Martin Hooper, your match official today. Arsenal in possession, 0-0. Almost 4 minutes gone. Scuffed pass by Zinchenko, finds Vieira. Martinelli, good challenge there from Ashley Young, but he had a bit of good fortune and an excellent tackle. The good fortune was that Ashley Young won it, and then it ricocheted back into the path of Martinelli on the left-hand side. Martinelli ran towards the dead ball line. Ashley Young got a tackle in.
Yeah, he played it off him. He's done really, really well there. And that scuffed pass I don't wish to contradict you. That scuff pass wasn't scuffed.
No.
That was just disguised. He was looking to play it to his left centre back, and at the very last second, just changed the angle of his foot, play it through Everton's midfield into Vieira.
Long ball forward, good header by Tarkowski. Just inside the Arsenal half, heads it out of play though. Arsenal throw in on the left-hand side, 20 yards short of halfway. Zinchenko to take it. The ball's been like a magnet for the Ukrainians so far. In it goes to Odegaard, back with Zinchenko. Idrissa Gana Gueye makes a forward move. They turn it back to Gabriel. And then through the goalkeeper, build the game from the back. Crossfield ball aimed for Zinchenko, was hit with just a little bit too much pace, and Everton have a throw in. Taken by Ashley Young, right hand side. Back it goes to Tarkowski. Jared Branthwaite is immediately put under pressure by Odegaard, so goes back to Jordan Pickford, sweeps it out to the right hand side, headed forward by Ashley Young. It came off Martinelli, and Everton have got a throw in, smack bang on the halfway line, 0-0. Good throw down the line for Beto. Beto gets a chance to run at his man, and immediately he gets away from him. And those shirt tugging there from Gabriel.
Gabriel again,
right in front of the referee.
He's not fancying him.
That's a good signal so far in that particular duel, but 0-0.
I think on this occasion, I think the referee might have seen the infringement and told him to play on. But Gabriel certainly concerned about Beto, isn't he?
In the early stages, Beto's looked decent. That's a really poor chip pass out from the right-hand side on the edge of the penalty area from James Tarkowski, right out of play. Nobody anywhere near it.
Sean Dyche is saying, if you're in that position, Arsenal are closing Everton down really, really quickly. Sean Dyche just making a point. If you find yourself under pressure, go long.
Yeah.
Give Beto something to chase.
Especially from what we've seen so far. 6 3/4 minutes gone. Gabriel turns it back to Saliba. Declan Rice into the path of Ben White. Back inside for Saliba. Saliba up towards the arc of the centre circle inside his own half. Declan Rice wants it. Declan Rice gets it. Slides it short to Zinchenko. First time pass is back to Saliba. Out to Gabriel, who was long linked with a move for Everton before he signed for the Gunners. Gabriel exchanging passes with Saliba again. Long ball forward for Martinelli. Good header from Tarkowski. Ashley Young picks up the loose, and then a loose pass from Idrissa Gana Gueye almost gave Onana problems, and then Everton sweep it into Dwight McNeil, caught in possession there, and Arsenal. Ben White through to Odegaard, and then good challenge from Jared Branthwaite, sliding in as Saka was running to attack the ball inside right position, down by the dead ball line, puts it behind for a corner to Arsenal. Caught in possession. Yeah. I mean, Arsenal just have men running at you, don't they?
He was caught in possession. He was mugged. He thought he got away from his man, but all he did was turn into the second man.
He turned into a cul-de-sac, didn't he?
But he wasn't aware that the second man was pressing him, and Arsenal have pressed really, really well, really high up the pitch, have not let Everton get into any sort of passing game at all.
Another corner, Gladys Street end, right-hand side. It's going to be swung in by Saka. This one's a bit deeper towards the far post. Martinelli made a contact with it.
That's panic.
Completely miskicked, and now Jared Branthwaite.
He's kicked it against Ashley Young.
He kicked it against Ashley Young, and it's gone behind for another corner.
And that's what the great pressure that Arsenal put you under. It makes you panic,
even when clear at any cost.
Even when you've got time there.
Yeah, because there was
as Branthwaite did have, he's still thinking, I'm going to be under pressure. I've got to get.
Because Martinelli had lost possession, and there was no other Arsenal player near him.
But the pressing is such that you expect it to come. It becomes
intense.
You expect somebody to be on top of you.
Corner left-hand side this time. Arsenal work it short with Odegaard to Martinelli. Odegaard in possession, sweeps it back to Zinchenko. 15 yards from the edge of the penalty. Slide rule pass there for Vieira.
It's a better chance than he's made.
Well wide of the mark. 3 or 4, 5 yards maybe even.
He's found himself
going wider.
He's found himself in space in the penalty area, which Sean Dyche will be concerned about. There was a straight pass into his feet, nobody tight on him. He's turned and the space was there. He had sight of the far side net in the far post, but he just got his shot horribly wrong. It didn't. There was no.
Because he hit it with his right foot, you would expect him to hit it with the inside of his foot to try and curl it in, but it was going wider with that. At every sort of yard closer to the goal that it got. Everton throw in, 10 minutes gone almost, right hand side. It's been pretty much all Arsenal in the ascendancy. Arsenal press back as Everton take the throw, and Beto couldn't connect with Ashley Young's throw down the line. Arsenal go back to the goalkeeper and build again into Saka, who's taken up a central position. Made a lateral run, but good stop there from Ashley Young. And now the referee has given a free kick for a foul on Bukayo Saka, as two Everton players attempted to get tight to him. I think it was probably for Doucouré's intended challenge, but Saka didn't go down. So the referee slightly over officious with that one, I think.
Well, he's played the advantage, and that pass was sufficiently close to the fence that the referee can say, OK, I'll give you a couple of seconds to see if you can get out of that. But no, the referee's in to judge that because of the foul, the unfair pressure that he was put under. It's a free kick, and he gave the ball away because of that. Because of
the intensity of the challenge and how tight Doucouré was to him. Declan Rice finds Gabriel up towards halfway. Gabriel has to go back to pick out Saliba. Declan Rice again, broke over halfway to the right of centre. Support offered from Ben White. 1-2 between White and Declan Rice. Ben White's forward ball aimed for Bukayo Saka. Jared Branthwaite intervenes. Back it goes to Pickford. A little bit of a follow-up there from Eddie Nketiah, and you say he had every right to run towards the ball, but there was a point where perhaps you think Eddie Nketiah could have stopped, and he didn't. And I think Jordan Pickford's going to be all right, but he might not have been.
To be fair to Nketiah, both his feet were on the ground. He's moving for the ball. He's never going to get it, but neither does he make any attempt to get the ball. He doesn't lift his foot. He's not showing his studs. There was no real massive danger to Jordan Pickford. If Eddie Nketiah lifts his leg up there and Jordan Pickford kicks through it, he's in big trouble. But Nketiah's just in Pickford's way. It's a collision as much as anything. I think it looked worse because Pickford had obviously that big left-footed swing that he has. Both feet off the ground, he's gone over. I think that's just about the right decision. Potentially booking, but I'll give the referee the benefit there.
Back with interest, but Everton ball back with Pickford. Tarkowski in the left-back position. Goes back to his goalkeeper. Odegaard closes down again. Sidestep from Pickford.
Look at the closing down. Arsenal. Odegaard's running past his own teammates.
It's time for Arnaud Danjuma to chase after. Good watchful defending from Zinchenko. Just touch volleys it back to his goalkeeper. Long ball there for Saka. Saka wins it in the air, but Mykolenko got to the ball as it dropped back to the goalkeeper. Mykolenko and Pickford exchange passes, and the Gladys Street end appreciate Everton's composure under pressure. Out it comes to Amadou Onana. Not seen very much of him so far. Onana in possession, rolls it in front of Tarkowski. Long ball forward for Beto to chase, but it's straight to Zinchenko. Zinchenko put under pressure by Arnaud Danjuma. Back Arsenal go to Gabriel across the defensive line to pick out Saliba. 5 yards further advanced from the edge of his own penalty areas. Arsenal defend the Park end in the first half. Gabriel short for Zinchenko, who's back in that auxiliary midfield role now. Arsenal in possession, having to backpedal for Saliba, and then Declan Rice dropping in to make up the numbers. Short ball to Ben White in the right back position midway inside his own half. Stops and works it inside to Declan Rice, always available. Zinchenko looks for options. The one he selects is Declan Rice again. Arsenal have plenty of players in advanced positions, and Nketiah making a forward move. Saka easily away from Mykolenko. Works it into Odegaard, being chased by Onana. Everton hassle and harry, and Doucouré wins it back and wins it back well. Forward ball to Beto's a poor one. He'd done all the hard work, but the pass was really poor, and Beto tries to go short to pick out Doucouré. Declan Rice goes down, and the referee gives the free kick to Arsenal, and I'm not too sure that he's correct on that occasion. Barry Horn.
Yeah, Doucouré was lunging, wasn't he? Declan Rice had got the ball away, and there was contact. The referee couldn't have been any closer. No complaints from any of the Everton players. But Everton won the ball back on a couple of occasions. I think that's offside.
Yeah. Offside against Nketiah after Vieira picked out his run.
Only two there. They've won the ball back really well. Good pressure. And then their pass forward is rushed and it's inaccurate. 2 or 3 times that's happened now. It's that you need a change of emphasis on the turnover. You need to be aggressive and fast,
and then
when you're pressing, then you win it, and you instantly need to calm down. And that's what Everton have just been unable to do in this last 3 or 4 minutes.
Pickford takes the free kick in the right back position, hits it long downfield towards Beto. It's headed away, but McNeil picks out Doucouré in towards the penalty area, headed back to his goalkeeper there by Gabriel, taken easily by David Raya above his head, but Everton just bearing their teeth in an attacking sense, trying to build a way into this game. 16 minutes gone. Arsenal with Declan Rice, slide rule pass forward for Odegaard, out to the right hand side for Bukayo Saka, running at Mykolenko, edge of the penalty. Good touch from Mykolenko with his right boot to nip it away from Saka, but it's gone out of play for a throw into Arsenal, taken quickly. Back it goes to Ben White, right hand side as Arsenal build. Declan Rice in possession, rolls it back to William Saliba. Rice again. Arsenal have got every player bar the goalkeeper inside the Everton half. In possession now is Gabriel. Left hand side, Martinelli. The Brazilian makes a lateral run infield. Picks out Declan Rice. Midway inside the Everton half. Central position. Touched on by Ben White to Saka. Saka rolls it back to Declan Rice. Ben White takes over. In comes the cross towards the far post. Hooked back across the face of goal. That was the attempt by Vieira, but he ended up making more of a clearance than anything else. But Arsenal still in possession. Declan Rice, 20 yards inside the Everton half. Crossfield ball from White, from right to left. Picks out Martinelli, running at the Everton defence now. Edge of the penalty area, rolls it back to Rice. Rice onto Ben White. Ben White, as Everton just managed to win possession, but then again, the same point that was made by Barry Horn. They're okay at winning possession, but then they're getting too hurried in it to make the most of it, and it ends up being almost a position where they look as though they can't get out. 18 minutes gone, 0-0 at Goodison Park. Arsenal dominating possession and looking dangerous and threatening every time they come forward. Out it goes to Saka, right hand side, receives it from Saliba, running at the Everton back line again. Mykolenko did really well to prevent the ball from going behind for a corner as the last touch came off him, ran towards the dead ball line, hooked his left foot around it, puts it out for the throw into Arsenal, level with the penalty spot. In it comes, headed away by Jared Branthwaite. Touch back there to Dwight McNeil from Abdoulaye Doucouré. Well, William Saliba allowed it to bounce and Everton win it back. Amadou Onana's completely stopped, and Arsenal with Martinelli. 1-0 Arsenal. Everton caught flat-footed. Amadou Onana, I don't know what he was doing, because he completely stopped as if he was waiting for the referee to make a signal for some sort of infringement, but he stopped and Arsenal threaded the ball through. Martinelli with the expert finish, right-footed against the post and into the back of the net. Everton 0, Arsenal 1, and on 19 minutes, applause, a tribute to Matthew Dolby 19-year-old Everton season ticket holder lost his life in tragic circumstances on a night out with his friends on a hot July evening. He was stabbed to death. He was from Lydiate and was due to start a management course at Hope University only this month. As a 10-year-old in April of 2015, Matthew Dolby was mascot for the game with Burnley at Goodison, a 1-0 victory and a massive day in the short life of Matthew Dolby. Matthew's mum and dad, Gary and Angela, and brother Tom now want to start a foundation in his honour and in his name to try and prevent more youngsters losing their lives to knife crime.
Well, Everton might have a let-off after that fantastic minute's applause. They're checking the goal offside, VAR. That clear-cut chance has been coming. Arsenal's possession, the dominance of possession, and they've tried that threaded ball a couple of times. The chance has been coming. I'm not sure. I didn't think he was offside. I've got to be perfectly honest.
I think it is going to be offside.
It looks like it is. So,
but that is a reprieve, and you know it's a reprieve.
That's a huge let-off for Everton, and it's a huge let-off for Onana, because he does the unforgivable. He stops playing. He's more concerned. He could have put a challenge in for that loose ball before it was played through. Instead, he stopped and appeals for offside. Okay, he's got away with it on this occasion, but if I'm Sean Dyche, or tell you what, if I'm on that pitch, he's getting a rocket right now.
What are you told as a 10-year-old when you start playing football?
Don't stop.
Play the whistle.
And the ball was there for him to challenge for. It bounced just past him. He stopped playing, and hopefully Ashley Young's had a word with him, but he's got that in his locker, that there's something, I don't know if it's arrogance or what to describe it, but just get on with the game. At all times,
he's just a bit too casual, isn't he? It's lots of different aspects for a player who has ability, but we're yet to see the sum total of it wrapped up in enough cohesive, decent performances in a blue shed. Arsenal have got a man down, so we're going to have a break in play.
So I'm assuming that was quite a clear-cut offside decision, because the referee wasn't asked to go to the screen.
Yeah, the offside was against Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, he's obviously been told, no, that's offside, you don't need to look at it. We've made a decision. I think it must have been very close. So all these offside decisions are, obviously, otherwise the linesman would have flagged, but that would have been tight. So Everton have got away with one, and hopefully that's a bit of a warning, in particular for Onana in midfield. And give credit to Everton's back line for holding that line and catching him offside.
Correct.
Yeah, it was correct. Yeah, absolutely. So that's not lucky. That's good play, or it's poor play from Nketiah for going just that fraction of a second.
Looks like Arsenal are going to make a substitution. Tomiyasu is ready to come on. So during this break in play, the Everton players have got a chance, and Arsenal's players, to take on water and liquids. Widnes 18, Sheffield 38 in the game in the Championship. That's a result, not a great result, unfortunately.
Martinelli looks to be struggling here.
Yeah,
didn't see what happened, but
in fact, it's Trossard that's coming on.
Yeah, and it is.
They
are doing it. Yeah, he's moved. Martinelli's walking okay. He looked to be in a lot of discomfort when he was down, but he's moving okay now. But you know, that's what I was talking about prior to kick-off. Trossard, coming on, and who's to say who's the better of those two? Because when he got in the team at the end of last season, he was terrific.
And he was keeping Martinelli out at times, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So we restart. 23.5 minutes gone. 0-0 at Goodison. Everton have had a let-off. Hopefully they'll learn, and particularly Amadou Onana will learn from it. Arsenal in possession. Good challenge by Mikalenko, but he rather wrestled Bukayo Saka to the deck in winning the ball. So the referee perfectly correct to give the free kick to Arsenal. Back it comes from Ben White over on the right hand side, back to Saliba, Zinchenko. Ben White again. Saka drops deep to pick it up just inside the Everton half, then goes back to White. White looks for options, and there are plenty in red and white shirts in advanced positions, but he squares it instead to Saliba inside the centre circle, tucks it out to the left-hand side to Gabriel, gives it back to Saliba, right-footed ball for Declan Rice. Declan Rice has support, as always, from Saka on that right-hand side, strokes it out, given back out to Declan Rice, floated ball for Trossard, kills it in an instant with his right foot, level with the edge of the Everton penalty area, checks back, support offered by Zinchenko, 15 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Odegaard back with Zinchenko. They've got Vieira on the left if they want. This is Vieira on the left. Cuts inside after receiving the ball. Back he goes to Zinchenko. Zinchenko works it short inside the centre circle to William Saliba. Controls it, then finds White. White goes back to Saliba. Short ball to the left of centre now for Gabriel. One touch to control and then picks out Leandro Trossard, the former Brighton player who's made an impact as soon as he got to the Emirates. Ben White, the switcher to the right-hand side for the ever-dangerous Bukayo Saka on the overlap. Ben White tucks it back across the face of goal, only as far as Declan Rice shoots. It's blocked. Drops towards Zinchenko. Back out to Vieira, cross deep towards the far post. The header's run by Ben White, but he caught it on the way down. It flicked off his head, and it's gone behind, thankfully, for an Everton goal kick. But a couple of very important blocks there.
Thankfully for an Everton goal kick there, because Ben White didn't have the awareness that Odegaard was behind him, and that was his ball. But the Everton fans are shouting to the Everton players, come on, get stuck in. But that's exactly what Arsenal want you to do. They want you to commit. Once one man commits, then they've got an overload somewhere, and they got the overload on the right hand side, the two of them. Lovely little exchange down the wing, which got them behind Everton's back line.
Yeah, they're one of the best counter-attacking teams in the country, and if you lose possession even at the other end of the pitch, Arsenal can rip you to shreds with 2 or 3 passes. Everton go back to Pickford. Tarkowski's put under pressure. Poor decision making there from Jordan Pickford.
He's put his teammate in a whole heap of trouble there, because Nketiah was already on top of Tarkowski. It's not like he's run 15 yards to get in touch with him, giving Tarkowski
and Pickford can see
a split second. He was on top of him, and Pickford can see that. And he didn't really make himself. He didn't really make himself available because, of course, he doesn't favour his right foot, so he didn't want it on his right foot.
Arsenal take the throw in. Good challenge from Idrissa Gana Gueye to win it back momentarily, but then puts it out for a throw in again for Arsenal. 27 minutes gone, 0-0 at Goodison Park. Disallowed goal on 19 minutes for Arsenal. Offside against Eddie Nketiah in the build-up. Good finish. Here come the Gunners again. Ben White decides to go back to the halfway line. Zinchenko in that central position once again. Floated ball out to Saka. Good defending from Everton, from Mikalenko initially, and then McNeil's pass is a bit short. Swept forward for Doucouré. Doucouré, poor pass looking for Beto, and then Doucouré stops when really he should be running back. And Arsenal come forward again with Zinchenko. Odegaard, central position, finds Ben White in an advanced position on the right-hand side. Declan Rice, short for Odegaard. Everton defending well on the edge of their own penalty area and managed to maintain possession. Idrissa Gana Gueye ball, lovely pass for Beto, striding down the left-hand side in towards the edge of the penalty area. This is Beto in possession, driving run, tried to go past his man. In the end, it's a goal kick. He did too much, but the Everton fans will like at least the effort and the energy from Beto. He overran it and didn't look at the bigger picture around him. He didn't have much by way of support, did he?
That's terrific play by William Saliba. Didn't panic. Was happy for Beto to go outside, and he knew that's which way he wanted to go. He knew there was nothing much in behind him, so he just said, "Go on then. If you think you can beat me on the outside, do your best." And he couldn't.
Declan Rice's ball is cut out by the head of Arno Danjuma. Idrissa Gana Gueye. Danjuma making a lovely run right-hand side. Receives the pass from Idrissa Gueye. Danjuma in possession. Support offered further back by Ashley Young. Good cross deep towards the far post. It's too close to the goalkeeper. Great crossing opportunity.
What's terrific about... Let's just see how this pans out. Branthwaite against Nketiah.
Branthwaite and Nketiah.
little nudge. Free kick.
Branthwaite against Saka, rather.
What was terrific about that bit of play there was it's a terrific ball out to Danjuma, and Zinchenko, who's played the entire game in centre mid, running the game from centre mid with Declan Rice, miraculously, exactly when he's needed, he's in his left back position, and also so was Trossard. So there were two players in a position that they've not had one player for the rest of the game.
Long ball forward,
brilliant anticipation.
It's headed back to the goalkeeper for Arsenal. The cross was too close to the goalkeeper, but I don't know why at all Ashley Young stopped it first instead of hitting it first time.
Well, yeah, the first time cross for me is always the best.
Yeah. I mean, the fact of when he stopped it, he actually gave the opposition a chance to get closer to him and impede his view. Half an hour gone. 0-0 at Goodison Park. Crossfield ball is cut out there for Everton by Dwight McNeil. Doucouré does really well to lift the ball over the head of Declan Rice. Driving forward. Abdoulaye Doucouré. He's going all the way. He's pulled down.
That's got to be a penalty.
Looked as though he was pulled down there, but the referee's having none of it.
Fantastic run.
It was a wonderful run there from Abdoulaye. He's won it again. He's come back and won it again. And here's Danjuma, driven shot. Blocked. Comes back off Gabriel. Doucouré's there again. In towards Beto. Idrissa Gueye. Scuff shot. Flags up for offside.
Surely VAR just going to flag up that they're actually having a look at that.
Because
he went down. He went down exactly looking like trick, but they're not looking at it. So
it
must have been very deceiving from up here in the stand.
Great
run
possession.
though. Great run. I thought he was going to get a shot off.
And now foul there by Mykolenko on Bukayo Saka, right hand side. Everton's best move of the game, and there was a real intensity about Doucouré. Even after that, twice he was involved as Everton won the ball back.
On his day, he's a terrific, energetic, high impact midfield player, and even when he doesn't have great games, he has moments like that where he does great things. Just can't seem to do it for 90 minutes, but there's absolutely no doubt whatsoever he can be so effective, and that run took him past 2-3 players, and then he's just jinked outside of his right foot, looked like he was going to get a shot off, and just bang, he hit the deck.
Free kick for Arsenal, right hand side, swung in there by Odegaard, headed away by Mykolenko at the near post. One bounce and out for a throw into Arsenal. The Everton substitutes are applauded as they're running up and down the line. I think specifically Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and thankfully he's looking a lot less like a cartoon character with that big lump on his cheek than he did after coming off against Aston Villa quite early on in that game. Arsenal thrown forward towards Odegaard. Jared Branthwaite tracked across very quickly and made it virtually impossible for Odegaard to reach the ball with his right foot, and it's behind for an Everton goal kick.
Once again, I think Branthwaite quietly going about his business.
He's very effective and composed, isn't he?
You know, you haven't mentioned him that much. He's not done anything where you go, wow, that's brilliant. But that's because he hasn't had to, because he's been in the right place. He's not, Tarkowski's given a couple of really bad balls out of defence. He was given a bad ball by Pickford as well. But Branthwaite's just going about his business, defending his goal, getting his touches in, getting his tackles in, getting his blocks in, and he hasn't had to make any ridiculous last-ditch challenges because he's been in the right place.
33 minutes gone. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Full commentary on BBC Radio Merseyside, your first station for football, the only station where you will hear every single Everton game this season, home and away. BBC Radio Merseyside. Arsenal build with Ben White, receives it from Bukayo Saka inside his own half. Edge of his own penalty area is Saliba. Gabriel further forward, back inside for Saliba again. Try to invite Everton to close down, and eventually Beto does, and it's slid into the path of Ben White. Out to the right hand side for Saka. Comes inside, gets away there from Everton's left back Mykolenko, and Arsenal towards the Everton penalty area, and eventually Jordan Pickford comes out to claim the ball.
It's a rare mistake from Zinchenko.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure it was his mistake. I think I think Trossard is now acknowledging that actually that's the run he should have made.
Yeah,
and
the run didn't materialise inside left position.
Trossard's gone to go inside, and then as Zinchenko's played the ball at the very last split second, he's gone outside his man.
Long ball forward, Everton win it, and then the referee is now given a free kick to Arsenal, where it looked as though I think Everton should have had a free kick themselves for handball, but no.
Trossard and Zinchenko still discussing that mix-up on the edge of the box.
Yeah, you get the feeling he won't make the same mistake again, and Everton need to be ever watchful. Arsenal down that left-hand side, and it's Vieira, the player who's gone down.
I think he's trying to suggest that he's been struck in the face.
Yeah.
I didn't see it myself. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I don't think there was any intent there, which is why the referee didn't feel the need to speak to Beto.
35 minutes gone. 0-0 at Goodison Park. Arsenal in possession, as they have been for the lion's share of this game so far. Beto, good closing down work there on Saliba.
He's cool. Saliba's a cool customer. Maybe a little bit too cool at times. But Everton can catch him.
Through Gabriel. Good play by Ben White. But Everton almost hit the pocket. But Arsenal come forward. Good challenge there by Abdoulaye Doucouré on Martin Odegaard. Bukayo Saka was down. And now the referee. Now that is not a head injury. It's not a head injury, and the game should not be stopped.
Well, he's now whatever he was holding initially. Saka is now holding his face. Now he's not holding his face. Referee shouldn't have stopped the game, and I'm willing to bet whatever Merseyside are paying me to cover this game, that he gets up and there's absolutely nothing wrong with him.
Well, he's up already, and
the referee should not have stopped the game.
Bad refereeing.
Unless he thought it was a head injury, unless he wasn't sure.
But that's the instruction.
No, I'm saying unless he thought it was a head injury.
Well, if he isn't sure from the position
there's nothing wrong with him. There's absolutely, he's gone from rolling around, flailing his arms in the air, to absolutely nothing wrong with him. He should be booked. That should be the new directive.
The ball's out of play, and Everton have to throw it.
Or at least made to go off the pitch. Yeah. The referee stopped the game because he thought he was injured. Get off the pitch.
8 minutes to go to the break, or 8 minutes to go to the 45, I should say. Throwing down the line. Beto's battling for possession. Beto's challenged there by Saliba, just got the better of him. Picks out Ben White. Then the ball cannons off Mikalenko's right boot Beto, and out for a throw into Arsenal. 15 yards short of halfway.
I would make a conscious decision. I'd go and stand on Gabriel, because Saliba's a different animal. He's confident. He looks comfortable.
We saw in the early exchange with Gabriel.
With Gabriel, he looked as if he was worried.
Doucouré for Everton. The ball forward came off McNeil. Onana for Everton's ball forward. Cannons off McNeil and out of play. Good header as Arsenal take the throw from the captain Tarkowski. Out to the left-hand side. There's a foul there from White on Idrissa Gana Gueye. Free kick. 20 yards inside the Arsenal half. Left-hand side. Dwight McNeil has got to try and deliver a good one. Everton have had apart from the Doucouré run, they've hardly been inside the penalty area. And now set pieces offers them a chance to do that. And they've got Beto to aim for, and Branthwaite, and Tarkowski, and Onana. It's worked short instead. And Ashley Young delivers the cross towards the far post. Arsenal win it in the air. And Everton are caught short on numbers. Trossard in possession. Cuts inside. Picks out Zinchenko. Good half block there by Beto. Falls into the path of Onana. Right-hand side Doucouré. Onana makes the move, but instead it's Dwight McNeil. Central position, shoots. It's blocked. He had to take it quickly, and as a consequence, couldn't really set his sights as much as he would have liked in terms of looking up and seeing where his position was. And Arsenal in possession, but good closing down work from Dwight McNeil, harrying, hassling, not giving an inch, and a floated ball then from Vieira out towards Saka, right-hand side, running at Mykolenko again. Doubling up work for Everton is done there by Dan Juma. Touched into the path of Zinchenko. Nice ball from Declan Rice. The ball ricochets into the path of Odegaard, then Rice again. Ben White. Arsenal edge of the penalty, driven shot, good save. Ben White shot from 25 yards. Just stung the palms of Jordan Pickford and he patted it down, but a comfortable save from the Everton goalkeeper. Almost 40 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Barry Hall.
Well, I think Sean Dyche will be relatively. I think he'll be happy with the way the first half has gone. Arsenal are good. A possession-based team. The possession stats, I don't know what they could be, anything up to 70-80%. I don't know. You expect that. You expect them to have a lot of play in the final third. That's fine. What they haven't had is too many clear-cut opportunities. Everton restricted them. They've kept their shape well. They've stuck to the plan well. And who knows? That with a little bit more luck, they might possibly have done better in front of goal themselves. So I would suggest that Sean Dyche will go in at half time and say, "Well done, lads. Let's keep it like that for another 20-25 minutes and see where we get to."
There's just over 4 minutes to go to the break. Still no goals. There will be quite a bit of time. I would have thought at least another 4 to add on, given the stoppages that we've had.
It was a very brief stoppage to the VAR, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A couple of injuries to Arsenal players where they've gone down.
So we wait to see what's to be added on. Ben White breaks over halfway right-hand side. Everton have everybody back behind the ball as Arsenal go back inside their own half. Saliba to Gabriel. Beto tracks across as the two central defenders play a little 1-2 between them. Forward ball headed away by Mykolenko, but straight to Martin Odegaard. Touch into the path of Ben White on the right-hand side, then back with Declan Rice. Does really nicely to get away from Idrissa Gana Gueye. White on the right-hand side, chips it in towards Saka, make the forward move, heads it down to Declan Rice. Here's Zinchenko, 35 yards from goal. Trying to size up maybe a long-range effort, but no, finds Leandro Trossard. Trossard's ball inside the penalty area. Zinchenko has it, driven back out by the presence of two Everton players are forcing him to backpedal. Still the Gunners have it though. Gabriel in possession. Short ball with his left foot to find Declan Rice. Declan Rice slides it back to Vieira. Back again for Gabriel. Gabriel running with the ball at his feet. Goes for Vieira again. Slid inside to Declan Rice. Ben White short to Zinchenko in that central midfield position again. That's why they have so much possession of the ball. He's in two places at once as Arsenal build again. Good defending from Everton to Idrissa Gana Gueye, and then Amadou Onana's pass there for Dwight McNeil was just a little bit ambitious.
No, there's nothing ambitious about that. That was a straightforward, routine pass, and he's misplaced it.
Poorly delivered.
And then he stands and waves his arm around at McNeil.
Arsenal have it with Ben White. Back to Saliba. Zinchenko. Declan Rice.
That was a good chance for Everton to break, by the way.
Yeah, it was
really good chance.
With Arsenal having so many players encamped in the Everton half.
And I would say 8 or 9 of them were taken out if that pass had been accurately delivered in front of McNeil.
It was a very simple option to pass the ball 15 yards. Arsenal have it again with Saka linking up on that right-hand side with Ben White. The ball's turned into midfield inside the centre circle. Zinchenko floats a ball for Vieira's running in behind the Everton back line. Crossfield ball towards the deflection, and Everton managed to Decore, and then Beto, lovely turn from Beto, powering away from his man. And just looked to try and get away from Zinchenko.
I'm smart. I mean, I didn't want Beto to be robbed there, but the pass and the vision from Zinchenko to pick out Fabio Vieira, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Just hooked it in behind. Why Fabio Vieira didn't shoot, I don't know. He's tried to pick somebody out.
Well, thankfully he didn't.
But then, after making that pass, who's running back, outpacing Beto? It's Zinchenko to win the ball back for his team.
Been everywhere so far. Onana just about managed to find Branthwaite. Branthwaite hurriedly downfield. Flags up for offside. Free kick to Arsenal. We've got 30 seconds of normal time remaining. Amadou Onana guilty on quite a few occasions of serious misdemeanors. They're absolutely
it's
no
reaction.
need to
it's
happen.
not only the fact that he's made a bad pass. I can live with that. It's his reaction to it.
Arsenal in possession. Long ball forward aim for Vieira from
that pass from Zinchenko was
right-hand side, but
by far and away
gone out for a goal kick.
the best pass of the game, the best moment of the game.
4 minutes.
Fantastic. Yeah.
4 minutes to add on. And Everton still 0-0 with Arsenal at Goodison Park. Arsenal certainly superior by way of the amount of possession. Certainly they've been the better side, but Everton have defended well. They've been dogged, determined. They've managed to restrict Arsenal to, well, I'm going to say a limited number of clear chances. They haven't had any clear-cut chances, really.
There was one shooting opportunity. I think it was Ben White, wasn't it? Cut inside, and he hit it with his weak heel left foot straight at Pickford. That was a shooting opportunity. But other than that, I think that's the only save that Pickford's made.
Idrissa Gana Gueye with the cross. Swivel and a turn there from Dwight McNeil. Arsenal desperately get it clear. Mikalenko almost caught in possession. Back for Onana. Terrible pass from Onana. Picked out Leandro Trossard.
Oh my word.
Ashley Young gets a yellow card for a challenge. And again, at the heart of the problem for Everton is Amadou Onana.
That pass cost you a goal. He's 15 yards inside Arsenal's half. But what you were saying earlier about Arsenal being a good counter-attacking team, that's the type of pass that cost you a goal, because Everton are on the front foot. They're expecting that ball to come out wide to the right-hand side. Instead, at pace, Arsenal are now moving in the other direction. Everton are moving that way. Arsenal are moving in the opposite direction, and everyone's out of position. Everyone's caught by surprise, because again, that pass from Onana, that's a bread and butter pass. That's a pass that you should never ever get wrong.
Everton in possession with Jordan Pickford. Jarrad Branthwaite, clip ball forward short to Idrissa Gana Gueye, goes back to his goalkeeper. One touch from Pickford, and he goes long up towards Beto. Beto takes it on the chest. Finds Decore. Decore is robbed by Trossard.
Arsenal not winning any fans here today at Goodison Park.
Yeah.
Saliba's gone down. In all fairness, I think Beto did. No, it's not. It's yes, it is Saliba. In all fairness, I think Beto probably did catch him, but
they are exaggerating everything.
Look, he's fine. He's up. See that's the thing that really winds me about modern day footballers. They've got no pride or I'm not sure. Have they got no pride or have they got no shame? It's one, probably both. That he's rolling around on the floor.
And
there's
now
nothing
he's
wrong
fine.
with him. Well done, referee, though. But again, why can't you have a word with the player and say? And Everton have given the throw in back to Arsenal.
We've had 3 minutes of the 4 to be added on. There will be more than 4 now because of the stoppage we've just had. Zinchenko. Leandro Trossard driven back to the halfway line. Short ball from William Saliba for Ben White, who saw an awful lot of possession in the first half. He's seen being able to run at the Everton back line and join forces with Bukayo Saka. It's a lovely angle pass that time from Gabriel to Vieira. Checks back and away from McNeil. Beats him on the outside. Back on the inside. Cross towards White, edge of the penalty area. Tries to tee up Declan Rice. Driven away by the presence of Idrissa Gana Gueye. Good challenge by Arno Danjuma. The ball's gone out for an Arsenal throw-in. Danjuma's not seen much of the ball, but you can't fault him for his work rate and getting into positions where he's trying to help the team.
To be fair, none of the striking three have had much to work with, have they? They've been starved of good possession.
Half-time whistle.
Yeah, 0-0 half-time. The Everton fans making their way out of the stand. Look very content, I have to say. That was a performance from Everton, well disciplined, well drilled, restricted Arsenal, who have had, I don't know, I'm guessing
you'd say 75 minimum, wouldn't you?
I would say 70% plus, definitely. They've restricted them to one. They've nearly made chances. They've been in great positions. They've nearly found themselves in on goal, but they haven't. There was that one shooting opportunity. Ben White cut inside, left foot straight at Jordan Pickford, but very, very hard-working, disciplined performance. The two things that have disappointed me about that half: one, this is an Arsenal team that I want to like, because I think, you know, they play really attractive football. But how many times would you say players have gone down when they didn't need to? 4 or 5? Don't like that at all. And the other thing is some of Everton's passing, from a couple of individuals in particular, has been really, really disappointing. And then the reaction to that poor pass, and the reaction, that offside moment sums up Onana for me.
It was criminal.
When the ball is within challenging distance, his team are on the back foot, there's a turnover, and he stands still and appeals for offside. You just can't do that. And then you give a bad ball to a teammate and try to blame your teammate. I mean, that's, if I was in that dressing room now, he'd be getting it.
It's bad practice in any game against anybody, but when you're starved of possession and the amount of opportunities that you get, it just highlights it, doesn't it? He's given the ball, Onana's given the ball away 2 or 3 times, which could have resulted in goals. But it's that's okay. That's Sean Dyche's problem, as in the sense, does he take him off? Does he take him off, or, you know, if you can't pass the ball, you're gonna have to come off, and I'll put James Garner on who can. But it's his reaction. It's when he turned to Dwight McNeil and said, as if to say, "What are you doing?" And Dwight McNeil was like, "Well, what do you want me to do? You've hit the ball too far in front of me." That's what I can't be doing with. And while I'm on it, it's when he first came, he had the habit of going to the crowd to try to get the crowd going. And I'm looking at him thinking, well, I tell you what, you get on with your job, you play the game, you get some tackles in, and then the crowd will get behind you. Don't worry about that. Just a quick word about Beto. He's very, very limited service, but his endeavour has been absolutely fantastic, and he's prepared to run. He did one, and then we had that great run from Decore.
Beto is, you've summed up Beto's performance well, because he's been starved of service, but he's not been willing to try to get himself in the game. He did a couple of really good things where he's backed into the centre back and pinned him and used his strength to great effect to get hold of the ball for us. And we've not seen him at all running towards the goal with the ball between him and the goal. That's the nature of the game. Arsenal have dominated possession. The front three, McNeil, Danjuma and Beto, have had precious little to work with. And yes, we have had shots. So I think we've probably had
as many.
We've probably matched Arsenal for actual attempts on goal. And I'd love to see. VAR's been good today, because the offside call was made really quickly, no messing about. It was like VAR check, yeah, done, offside, brilliant. And then they seem to deal with unless I've got this completely wrong, maybe there was no case to deal with. But when Decore went down, it looked to me as if you can tell if a player's been tripped or not by the way he goes down. A footballer can tell, anyone who's watching a lot of football can tell by the way a player goes down, whether he's left his leg there, whether he's tripped himself up, whether there was no contact at all, whether he's dived. Decore went down there. If he's dived, that's a realistic dive. And why would he dive? Because his next touch is a shot on goal.
Yeah, great run from Decore. Plenty of action in the first 45 minutes, despite the fact that there were no goals. A really watchable game of football. Everton have done well so far. Arsenal in the ascendancy in terms of possession, but we'd have expected that in any case, given the gulf in quality between the two sides. But hopefully more to come from Everton in the second half. Half-time score at Goodison Park: Everton 0, Arsenal 0.
Email radio.merseyside.sport@bbc.co.uk
or follow us at BBC Mersey Sport.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Barry. Back with the guys at Goodison in time for second half commentary. Can Everton find that breakthrough against a side that likes to keep the ball? That's for sure. But let's see what Everton can come up with in the second half. Now, as far as the takeover of Everton is concerned, we've still got quite a way to go before it's all ratified and the sale of Farhad Mashiri's majority stake in the club to 777 Partners actually goes through. But if it does, how will the Mashiri years be viewed by Blues fans? Julia Bold has been talking to Joe Thomas, the Everton correspondent for the Liverpool Echo.
It's probably far more complicated to give an overview of Farhad Mashiri's tenure than you would suspect when you look at the cold hard numbers at the end of it, because I think at the moment, when we reflect on the 7 years, most of us will think of the difficulties of the last 2 years, the 2 relegation battles which have been so fraught, so difficult for the club, and everything that's gone on off the pitch during that period. Obviously we've had changes at board level, changes in the dressing room of course as well, with so many different managers. I think when you look at it, it's certainly been a turbulent and unhappy past 18 months, and Farhad Mashiri has to take some responsibility for that. Of course he does. Where it becomes a little bit more complex is he does deserve a degree of credit for having put so much money into the club. He isn't someone that came in and his MO appeared to be to asset strip Everton. He came in, he's put hundreds of millions of pounds in the transfer market.
Money in, hasn't he?
He started the development of a waterfront stadium, which is probably one of the most important regeneration projects, not just on Merseyside but in the whole of the UK and possibly Northern Europe. When you think about what it could do to the North Liverpool Docklands, an area that is needed regeneration for so long, so it really is a case of, I think probably when you come to try and assess it at the end of all this, it's not a case of did he put his money in. Clearly he did, and he will lose a lot of money once he exits this club, whatever the terms of that 777 deal are. It's very difficult to see how he recoups the money that he spent already. The question is how well he spent that money. Doesn't look like he spent it particularly well, and I suppose the question that follows on from that will be, well, who was making the decisions over how that money was spent? If it wasn't him, obviously as the majority shareholder he has responsibility for the people who are making those decisions in the first place, and I think it's fair to characterise his regime as troubled and as ultimately disappointing. It's difficult to look back on this and say that he succeeded in getting what he wanted.
We're all frantically looking at more details on 777 Partners to find out a bit more about them. They've got a sport portfolio. We know they've got other clubs all around Europe. How are the fans reacting to this news? Because it's been no secret the supporter base at Everton has wanted change, has wanted a different direction. Is this the direction they want?
I think supporters find themselves and have found themselves in a very difficult position for a long time. I think there's been an acceptance that Mashiri's tenure hasn't been a success, and that it would probably be a positive step for the club if he could find someone else to take over essentially. Obviously the difficulty comes with who then steps into the breach, and I think with MSP, who it looked like were kind of going to build influence into the club over the course of the summer, initially through a loan and then perhaps taking a stake in it. I think there was a degree of hope and optimism that they were sensible people who you could look at a track record of a sporting portfolio and at least see something that you could make sense or have a degree of hope about. With 777, I think it's far difficult. So they have a significant sporting portfolio. It's sports clubs, it's football clubs, the 7 that it owns or has invested in so far. They were all in trouble. They were all distressed assets, as they say, when they were taken over by 777. And most of those deals were done relatively recently. So it's difficult to say that they have a long track record you could judge them on. But it's very difficult to see positive stories from where they've been so far. And obviously, in one hand, they deserve time to see how those things can play out. But when you look at 777, they're not saying anything at the moment. They're not coming out and giving statements to Everton fans or trying to give reassurances about what they want to do or insight into their plans. The only thing that Everton fans, the only thing that people like ourselves can go off is what they've done elsewhere so far. And I think that when you look at what they've done elsewhere so far, it does raise perhaps more questions than answers. There are difficulties at several of the clubs. There are fan protests against 777 at several of those football clubs. There are some clubs that are doing relatively well this season, but the vast majority of those 7 have just had very troubling seasons, very difficult seasons, and several of them, the likes of Standard Liège, the likes of Sevilla, the likes of Hertha Berlin, have all started very, very poorly this season. I think that will be a concern for Everton supporters.
That's Joe Thomas, the Everton correspondent of the Liverpool Echo, in conversation with our very own Julia Bold, looking at how he sees how the Moshiri years will be viewed by the Everton fans when and if this new takeover goes ahead. As we said, with 777 partners, there's still a long way to go yet. And along that trail, BBC Radio Merseyside Sport will keep you in touch all the way. We'll be back to Goodison very shortly for the second half. Just to let you know that there was an earlier kick-off in the Premier League this afternoon. It finished Bournemouth 0, Tottenham 0. We brought you a Championship Rugby League game online this afternoon. Final home game of the season for Widnes. Well, they went down to Sheffield Eagles by 38 points to 18 in the end. Aaron Brown was sent off in the first half for Widnes against his former club, but the result means that Widnes cannot now make the playoffs, and that's 4 seasons on the run for Widnes not making the playoffs in the Championship. One more game left for them away at Featherstone next week. In the Singapore Grand Prix earlier today, Carlos Sainz won it with a controlled drive for Ferrari, and it ended Max Verstappen winning run. He'd won the last 10 Grand Prix at Verstappen, but that comes to an end with that win for Sainz today. Lando Norris was in second place and Lewis Hamilton in third. So that's the way the sport's looking this afternoon. Just to let you know that if you haven't caught up with it yet, don't forget that we have a brand new sports programme Monday to Friday, 6 till 8 on BBC Radio Merseyside, Total Sport. And as I said, it covers all the sports, all the football news that you expect, and all the other sports, as the name suggests, when it's between 6 and 8 o'clock, Monday to Friday, here on BBC Radio Merseyside. As you would expect as well, we bring you all the rest of the sport on our bulletins in breakfast as well. Back to Goodison very shortly.
Dwight McNeil from Abdoulaye Doucouré. Well, William Saliba allowed it to bounce, and Everton win it back. Amadou Onana's completely stopped, and Arsenal with Martinelli. 1-0 Arsenal. Everton caught flat-footed. Amadou Onana, I don't know what he was doing, because he completely stopped as if he was waiting for the referee to make a signal for some sort of infringement, but he stopped, and Arsenal threaded the ball through. Martinelli with the expert finish, right-footed against the post and into the back of the net.
Well, Everton might have a let-off. They're checking the goal offside, VAR. I didn't think he was offside. I've got to be perfectly honest.
I think it is going to be offside.
It looks like it is. So,
but that is a reprieve, and you know it's a reprieve.
That's a huge let-off for Everton, and it's a huge let-off for Onana, because he does sometimes does the unforgivable. He stops playing. He's more concerned. He could put a challenge in for that loose ball before it was played through. Instead, he stopped and appeals for offside. Okay, he's got away with it on this occasion.
0-0 at Goodison Park. Crossfield ball is cut out there for Everton by Dwight McNeil. Doucouré does really well to lift the ball over the head of Declan Rice. Driving forward. Abdoulaye Doucouré. He's going all the way. He's pulled down.
It's got to be a penalty.
Looked as though he was pulled down there, but the referee's having none of it.
Corner taken by Dwight McNeil, high towards Onana, header from Tarkowski! 1-0! Coleman up against Koch. Can the Everton captain get there first? He can. And it's gone! Seamus Coleman has whipped it across, and he's fooled everybody! Dwight McNeil into the penalty area. Shot! Goal! Yes! There he goes! Dwight McNeil has given Everton the perfect start.
Good shot. Oh! Abdoulaye Doucouré! A goal from the goal!
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Back here at Goodison Park, and just waiting for the two sides to re-emerge from the tunnel beneath us. And in fact, Arsenal are first out. So good in possession. so adept and adroit at moving the ball all around the pitch, and have a team of willing runners that will find space where it would be difficult, you would think, to be able to do so. But Everton have kept them, Barry Horn, at arm's length, and they've got to try and do precisely the same and pose more of an attacking threat in the second half.
Halfway there, settle for, I think I would settle for 0-0 after the first half that we saw. Wildly ambitious would be to try and go and keep the nil and try and sneak a winner. And Everton have had shooting opportunities, they have an attempt on goal, but Arsenal, make no mistake, I think they are a potent force. They're a real threat. We haven't really seen much of Saka. We've not really seen much of Odegaard. We've not really seen much of Nketiah. I think there's a bit more to come from, which is the fear, isn't it? And one player switches off and they're in. We saw what Zinchenko was capable of with that pass of the half where Fabio Vieira was in behind.
And Everton have Dominic Calvert-Lewin to come on at some point, you would think, but Arsenal have Gabriel Jesus to come on at some point. And forever a danger man against Everton for Manchester City. Doesn't look as though there's any changes to either of the sides. You slightly obstructed at the moment with a few people standing up in front.
Well, the obvious one that I've just been chatting to the fans. Well, the obvious possible substitution might have been Onana, who didn't have a great first half. Onana's come out, he's taken up his position. Let's see if he can have a better second half.
And he's caught in possession there. Well, he didn't actually have possession. It was an awkward bouncing ball, to give him some credit, as Arsenal come forward. Saka, curling left-footed pass out to the left-hand side for Leandro Trossard. On the overlap, Zinchenko. In comes the cross, headed away by Branthwaite. Volley clear there by Ashley Young. Arsenal with Gabriel, finds Declan Rice, hooked back immediately.
Ominous start from Arsenal.
Yeah.
Fabulous overlap down the left-hand side. Fabulous cross from Zinchenko. But what we were talking in the first half, Branthwaite was exactly in the right position to head it clear. No fuss.
Lovely ball again from Zinchenko, and a crossfield ball that Arsenal
almost
had an
again.
Opportunity. Branthwaite, as it was turned back in from Saka from the right-hand side, but the ball came across, and Arsenal with Odegaard shoots. Great save, Pickford. Still Arsenal pressurising, driven shot. It's over the bar from Vieira. But Arsenal built initially down the left-hand side, the cross right across the face of goal, and Saka turned it back in. It was blocked by Jarrett Branthwaite. Absolutely priceless clearance from the Everton man, and then Arsenal continued on the offensive, and the driven shot there from Odegaard, punched away by Pickford. It fell back to Vieira, and he smashed it over the bar. But Arsenal have started the second half very much on the front foot.
Yeah, my first thought was Branthwaite, well done again for cutting out that cutback, because that was a tap in, and then it comes to Odegaard, and
lovely run there by Beto, and then he's obstructed.
Odegaard, well, the referee is given the free kick,
but
Odegaard should have scored. It's a good save from Pickford, but Odegaard should have given him no chance from there. That is a genuine let-off.
It was quite near to him, wasn't it? It was hit with power and pace.
It was pace. Odegaard will be disappointed, because he literally could have rolled that in the bottom corner. He was only 10 yards out.
Good run from Beto there. He was blocked,
and I think that was it was Gabriel who just blocked him. He's got the beating of Gabriel.
Free kick for Everton.
On evidence presented in the first half, Salah was quite comfortable up against him. If I was Beto, I'd go and make myself play against Gabriel.
Free kick, right hand side, to the right of centre, you'd say. Midway inside the Arsenal half. McNeil or Ashley Young. Ashley Young curls it in. It's headed away. Doucouré chases out towards the left touchline. Gets there first. Waits for support to arrive. Danjuma drops back to provide that support. Now on halfway, Ashley Young goes long again in towards Onana. Was pushed. Can Doucouré keep it in play?
Well, that's pathetic. Ben White. That is pathetic.
That was That was a push.
He pushed
Onana.
He pushed Onana. Then it's gone down, claiming Onana's struck him in the face.
But how can the referee?
That's 3 times now.
How can the referee give that for something that didn't exist? Dreadful refereeing.
Well, actually, it's dreadful play.
Dreadful from Ben White as well.
That's 4 or 5 times now that's happening. I said earlier, Arsenal's a team I want to like, but I'm not sure.
Quite a few reasons not to.
Yeah.
As good as the
if
football
Arteta's
is.
happy with that, then I'm disappointed in him.
Arsenal in possession. 4 minutes gone in the second half. Long chip ball out to the right-hand side for Saka. The ball on his left foot. Threads it through to Odegaard. Odegaard going for the dead ball line. Good challenge from Branthwaite. Slid in. Chases after Odegaard as he maintains possession. Ben White 5 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Good defending that occasion by Zinchenko, but his attempted clearance only finds Declan Rice. Odegaard 5 yards from the edge of the D. Zinchenko's going to have a left foot shot. It's blocked, and Zinchenko almost picks up the loose. And then Everton, guilty of slightly overplaying their own penalty with Beto, but it all came off nicely. And then the ball downfield from Ashley Young is really poor. Thankfully for Everton, it ricocheted off an Arsenal player, and it's gone out for a throw-in.
Right at the start of that passage play, there was another bit of fantastic defending from Branthwaite, and you don't comment on it because it looks really simple, as if there's but his positioning, his timing, and then when he won the ball back and.
Well, it's his reading of the game that allowed him.
He pushed Odegaard away from goal. He didn't dive in. And then Mykolenko got away with a very, very, very risky challenge. He's come round from the back of his man with his left foot. If he gets anything wrong about that challenge, it's a penalty. But he got away with it on this occasion.
Arsenal in possession. An oft-used phrase in this match. Ben White on the right-hand side. Turns it back in for William Saliba. Inside the centre circle, short to the always available Zinchenko. Just to the left is Gabriel. Zinchenko inside, wants it again, gets it again. Gabriel again, midway inside the Everton half. Zinchenko offers himself 10 yards further back. Then Vieira. Little triangle of passes, Vieira, Zinchenko and Gabriel. Every blue shirt back behind the ball. Arsenal switch it to the right of centre and Ben White. On the right-hand side they have Saka. Making a forward move is Odegaard. He collects it now, finds a bit of space. Running back after him is Dwight McNeil. Here's Saka. Inside the penalty, good challenge from Branthwaite. Breaks for Odegaard though. Tries to tee up Zinchenko. Zinchenko finds Trossard in space left-hand side. Running at the Everton defence. Curls a cross in, headed away by Onana. Odegaard. Zinchenko on the left edge of the box. Collects it. Goes back to find a bit of space. Then Arsenal build again from halfway with Saliba. Ben White. Ben White back to halfway for William Saliba. Zinchenko inside the centre circle, inside the Everton half. That pass was too straight. It was hit too hard and it was too ambitious. Thankfully for Everton, straight through to Jordan Pickford. He's got to get something wrong sometimes, Zinchenko.
Yeah, he's not made too many mistakes considering the amount of possession he's had, but somebody who hasn't made a mistake this game is Branthwaite. Another fantastic challenge from him in the penalty area.
Everton probing and pressing with Idrissa Gana Gueye. Danjuma cutting in from the right-hand side. Forward pass, tried to touch it back to him. And Arsenal regained possession. It was always looking unlikely, but Arsenal try and build through Odegaard, and Everton win it back with Ashley Young. McNeil and Jared Branthwaite.
Nice.
Lovely pass.
Nice pass from Branthwaite. Ball control from Mykolenko.
Mykolenko took his eye off the ball and the ball just went under his foot.
Potentially good position for Everton down this left-hand side.
0-0. 7.5 minutes gone in the second half. Full commentary from BBC Radio Merseyside, your first station for football. Arsenal go back with Odegaard for David Raya. And then they build with Leandro Trossard. Makes a lateral run in field, finds space, finds too much space. He's still in possession, Trossard. Out to the left-hand side for Vieira.
Onana's bought the dummy big time there. He was expecting the pass to Odegaard. He's gone to pick it up, and Trossard's just ran into the space that on the left.
Zinchenko in towards Declan Rice. Picks out Bukayo Saka. Short to Declan Rice, Ben White. Saka again, curls across in towards the far post. Headed back across the face of goal. And in the end, it's put out for a throw-in.
Yeah, Pickford could have picked that up.
Yeah.
He actually panicked a little bit, wasn't quite sure whether or not Pickford was going to be allowed to pick that up. It almost certainly would not have been penalised there. Pickford was there.
But Everton taking no chances.
No, they've got it away. They've got it to safety. And Sean Dyche should be quite happy that Arsenal are crossing the ball from where they are. They're not getting in behind. They're crossing it from 10, 15, 20 yards in, from deep positions.
Good defending on the throw-in from Everton from Arnaud Danjuma. But it's out for another throw-in. Arsenal take it on that left-hand side. Challenge again from Everton from Arnaud Danjuma. Puts it out for a throw-in to Arsenal, level with the edge of the Everton penalty area. 54 minutes gone. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Full commentary on your first station for football, BBC Radio Merseyside. Good challenge that time from Doucouré to prevent Arsenal turning the ball back to halfway and to build, but it's another throw-in on the left-hand side. Zinchenko to take, gets it back from Martin Odegaard. Then Zinchenko goes back to Gabriel. Gabriel works it across from the left of centre to the right of centre to William Saliba, and over halfway for Ben White. Ben White slides it forward. Amadou Onana did really well to get the right side of Martin Odegaard, got goal side, then goes back to Pickford. Pickford's clearance. He always looked as though he was getting that wrong, and he did. He put it out for an Arsenal throw-in, but
big heavy touch to take him over to safety out of the penalty area, but then the angle for the clearance, the touch took him to give him an angle that was, he had to really wrap his foot around it to keep it in, and he got it horribly wrong.
Declan Rice out to the right-hand side for Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka rather. Declan Rice again. White. Rice, Arsenal backpedaling to try and find a bit of space. Saliba inside the centre circle. Just out of it now, to the left of it is Zinchenko. Lovely ball for Arsenal. Leandro Trossard running in behind the Everton defence. Across the face of goal. Might break. Oh, fantastic clearance on the line initially from Mykolenko. And the flag was up for offside in any case. But
regardless of the offside or not, that's a carbon copy of the best pass of the first half.
In the second, in the same position.
He's half turned. He's just inside Everton's half, 10-15 yards off the touchline. Without looking, he just whips it with plenty of height, so that the attacker's got plenty of time to run onto it. Doesn't run out for a goal kick because it's coming down, and he's just perfectly into the path of Trossard. Because I'm surprised he was caught offside.
The Arsenal players know when Zinchenko gets in those positions to make those runs.
Yeah.
Everton go long downfield, and it's gone out for a goal kick to Arsenal.
Give credit to Mykolenko though for getting back there and back heeling that cross away from Jordan Pickford's goal.
Sean Dyche, hand across his mouth, Italian mafia football manager style, having a word with his two assistants, or with Ian Wone certainly, and then Steve Stone maybe considering substitutions. Here's Ben White for Arsenal, short to Saka. He's mugged.
No, he's missed the ball. Doucouré's completely missed the ball.
That was not a foul.
There was.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, he's missed the ball completely. Doucouré's missed the ball completely. Yeah. I'm not saying he's going to be injured or there's anything wrong with him as he's suggesting, but Doucouré missed the ball, mistimed it.
Well, the referee's given the free kick. That's the decision that really matters. 0-0. 57 minutes gone. Arsenal continue to dominate possession. Good header down there from Mykolenko. Oh, but Doucouré was waiting, and Arsenal inside the penalty, driven shot. Excellent defending there from James Tarkowski. Eddie Nketiah inside right channel was being driven ever wide with every step closer to goal that he went, but in the end Abdoulaye Doucouré was waiting for the ball to come for him when he's not facing where the Arsenal players are running at him, and he just got his pocket picked.
Yeah, lightning quick break. Doucouré caught
Corner to
wanted
Arsenal.
too much time, but credit to Branthwaite and Tarkowski worked really well together there. Branthwaite knew a challenge was going to be a penalty. Tarkowski gave him the shout and he dealt with it.
In comes the corner from the right-hand side, headed away by Branthwaite, driven shot by Zinchenko, takes a deflection, and it's another Arsenal corner. More pressure on the Everton goal. Takes a good corner, doesn't he? One of the very many talents, footballing talents, that Bukayo Saka has. Bukayo Saka, rather.
Yeah, he does. He does strike a really nice. Crosses a good ball, doesn't he? And any professional footballer should be able to take a decent corner 9 times out of 10. I've got to be honest.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin is about to come on. He's certainly beginning to warm up. Arsenal take the short corner, driven shot there from the edge of the penalty. Took a deflection.
I think the Arsenal
players are appealing for handball.
For a penalty,
Being chased away, and now the referee is...
Oh, is it going to VAR?
Is it going to go to VAR? He's
pointing to the corner, isn't he?
Pointing to the corner. Took a wicked deflection.
Oh,
and now we're going to see a rerun of...
Tarkowski blocked him. He's run out, and I think it was a well-struck shot.
Yeah, you can't see from the angle that we've seen whether it's handball or not, because it's the arm behind Tarkowski that it appears to strike. That's the key. It appears to strike his arm. He doesn't appear to move his arm towards it. Arsenal have got a corner. Left-hand side this time. Vieira is there. Odegaard's come short. Vieira would swing it out. Odegaard would swing it in, or they're going to go short and use Zinchenko as the extra player on build-up. Back to Zinchenko, edge of the penalty. It's headed away. Saka finds Zinchenko. Crossing opportunity for Vieira. Deep towards the far post. Headed away. Good defending there from Jarrad Branthwaite. Man mountain in the Everton defence, and good goalkeeping from Pickford. Out it comes towards Abdoulaye Doucouré. Everton need to pursue their options a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, it's a shame that
Doucouré
couldn't find the forward pass there, because there was some blue shirts in support
positions,
but maybe didn't have the vision, or there wasn't an easy pass on, let's put it that way. There wasn't an obvious easy pass there.
But Everton have maintained possession. Arsenal got everybody back behind the ball. Onana's lovely pass there for Danjuma to chase, but turn back to the goalkeeper.
Everton should have followed in there. Mikolenko and Doucouré should have followed in. Arsenal getting out far too easily.
Ben White hits the deck every time he's challenged. For it is a defender and a muscular presence of 6'4"-ish or thereabouts, he hits the deck every time he's touched. Unbelievable. Free kick goes Arsenal's way. 61 minutes have gone. Give us a call on the football phone in at the end of the 90 minutes. 0800 731 9333. Odegaard picks out Zinchenko. Zinchenko 20 yards inside Everton territory, has support from William Saliba, turns it across to Gabriel, breaks forward. Sean Dyche is about to make his first substitution. It's going to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Ben White, will he consider going 4-4-2, I wonder? Ben White for Arsenal. Back it goes to Saliba. The man in space on the left-hand side now is Gabriel. Gets it back from Leandro Trossard. Infield to Zinchenko. Lofted ball for Vieira. Good defending from Everton from Tarkowski. Spotted the run of Vieira, went with him, and then just stood in front of him. Thou shalt not pass, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick.
The difference for Zinchenko with that pass was that Everton's defensive line was inside the penalty area. There was no space in behind for Vieira to work with, and the pass was almost impossible. So that's got to go down as a mistake in Zinchenko's column, I'm afraid.
He hasn't had many of them. You can get in touch as well, by the way, via WhatsApp. 08000 321 333, and you can text us 81333 as McNeil loses possession. Arsenal clear. Everton win it back with Branthwaite linking up with Tarkowski. Onana slides it forward for Beto. Nice touch for Adrisagana Gay. Foul there by Vieira. Everton have a free kick. With the texts and the WhatsApp messages, by the way, put the word Mersey before your message, and your texts and WhatsApp will be charged at your standard messaging rate. And if you just want the old dog and bone, 0800 731 9333. Mike Hughes and Barry Horn to take your calls at close of play. We're going on to 7 o'clock. Calvert-Lewin's coming on for Everton, and Gabriel Jesus is going to come on for Arsenal. That will be a straight swap for Eddie Nketiah, I think.
He's not really impacted the game, Eddie Nketiah.
He's hardly been involved.
He had that run in the first half, which was called as offside, but I haven't really mentioned his name.
Free kick floated forward by Young, headed away comfortably, headed back forward by Mikalenko, headed skywards by Onana. Arsenal get it clear. Mikalenko gives chase. Arsenal have got a man down again. This time it's
Gabriel.
It's Gabriel. Every time it's... Well,
sorry,
Eddie Howe.
I want to like this team. Obviously, what Mikel Arteta did here, but he's obviously sanctioned this.
It's a tactic.
He obviously thinks this is okay. It's a tactic. Yeah, Everton get the ball. There's a possibility that they mount an attack. Player goes down. Referee falls for it. Nothing wrong with him. Gets up. And I always say, well, the referee's in invidious positions because the one time he doesn't play on, the player might possibly be injured. But on evidence that's presented so far, this Arsenal team are using the head injury rule as a tactic to disrupt their opponent's play, and that is shocking.
Well, Eddie Howe got hammered for it last season with Newcastle.
Quite rightly so.
And by the way, what we've seen from Mikel Arteta today is worse than that.
Yeah. No surprise in the substitutions.
Beto is replaced by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's had a real go today.
Yeah.
The Everton fans would have loved Beto playing alongside Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think against Arsenal, it was always very, very unlikely at any stage. But Calvert-Lewin's on. Beto's given a good account of himself. Calvert-Lewin, the man in the mask, by the way, playing with a face covering because of that injury, of course, he picked up at Aston Villa. As Everton build, and Mikalenko wins a throw-in as Bukayo Saka was tracking back as Mikalenko was trying to wrap his left foot around the ball to get a cross in. Mikalenko's going to try a long one. It's level with the penalty spot. Left-hand side. 66 minutes gone. It's 0-0. In comes the throw towards the near post, headed away by Ben White. Decore misses his kick. Calvert-Lewin nudges it on. Goal! Just over the top there from Everton. Decent effort from Arnaud Danjuma as he caught it left-footed. Thumped it goalwards. It was always unlikely to be able to keep it down, and in the end it was over the bar, but it was a good effort.
He's tried the right thing there. He's not put his laces through it. He's tried the dipping volley, just didn't quite get the technique right, set it off too high, and David Raya had it covered.
Mikalenko makes a good recovery to get back goal side against Bukayo Saka, but gives a corner away in doing so after he'd really made an error of judgment in making a challenge that resulted in him, when he was in a good position to clear, to present possession to Bukayo Saka. Arsenal corner, right-hand side. Odegaard is with him. They've got Zinchenko in this auxiliary position, which they've used on a number of occasions. Looks like on this one, though, Saka is going to swing it in. I know he is going to go short, and they are going to find Zinchenko probably. In fact, it's a chip cross towards the far post. It's headed down. Comes off the head of an Arsenal player, off Gabriel Jesus, I think, but then just dropped to the deck, and Jordan Pickford is able to save. Lofted long clearance downfield. Calvert-Lewin rises, but didn't get anywhere near the ball as Leandro Trossard makes a lateral run in towards the centre circle. Saka gets away from his man. Good challenge there from Amadou Onana, sliding in, puts the ball behind, and Arsenal have another corner. Ben White comes forward. Gabriel comes forward. William Saliba comes forward. Arsenal are throwing the kitchen sink at this one. 68 minutes gone. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Corner on the right. Every Everton player is inside the penalty area bar. Dwight McNeil, who's 3 or 4 yards on the edge of it, he's nearest the corner takers, Odegaard or Saka. Saka's going to take it short to Odegaard. Now he is going to pick out Zinchenko. In fact, it's edge of the penalty area. It's Vieira, Zinchenko, Odegaard on the right. Saka makes the run, pull back. Oh, Arsenal in front. Fabulous finish from Leandro Trossard as he allowed the ball to come onto his body, left-footed, stroked it goalwards and with power in off the inside of the far post. Arsenal take the lead with a rapier thrust through the Everton backline and a clever finish from Leandro Trossard. It's Everton 0, Arsenal 1.
I thought the move had gone away from Arsenal. I don't think the short corner routine worked out as it was intended to. The pass from Odegaard, there was a short corner with Odegaard, he's brought it inside and he's cut it back to the edge of the box, and I'm thinking that was meant for Fabio Vieira to shoot. Odegaard put too much on it. Vieira had to take a touch, came back to the right hand side, but then a little threaded pass forwards, a cut back, and Leonard Trossard was let run across his body and he just faded it across Jordan Pickford. No pace on it whatsoever. He's just placed it inside the far post. But not only that, the curl on it was taking it away from Pickford and it hit the inside of the post and went in. A lovely, smart, neat finish after a slick triangular move on the edge of the penalty area.
Here come Everton though. Long ball downfield for Danjuma to chase, and David Raya races out of his goal, almost made
trying to do too much
there,
wasn't
too
he?
clever, puts it out for the throw in eventually. But here come Everton. Idrissa Gana Gueye tried, the ball was played towards him, and instead of just trying to pick out a teammate, he tried to be a bit too clever in possession, couldn't hang on to the ball, and Arsenal are able to pick it up again and work it long towards Jesus. Chest it down but out of play. Closely monitored there by Ashley Young, the Brazilian. 1-0 to Arsenal. Less than 20 minutes of normal time remaining. Ashley Young gets it back from the throw-in. Picks out Tarkowski. Long ball forward. Headed away. And only as far as Idrissa Gana Gueye. Amadou Onana. Forward ball to Idrissa Gueye again. His pass is cut out. Strange to attempt a cross-field ball to try and pick out a teammate when he was having to pass 3 Arsenal shirts to do it. And he paid the consequence. Paid the cost and gave the ball away as a consequence. It's back with Pickford. A long ball forward for Mykolenko to chase. Mykolenko just couldn't get into it. Managed to get a touch on it. Drove it against William Saliba, and Everton have got a corner. Gladys Street End.
Terrific vision and execution from Jordan Pickford. We've seen him do that before, of course.
It's a lovely long ball downfield.
Couldn't. The first touch wasn't quite up to it, but he got a second chance. But the Arsenal defender got back well. But Pickford's pass has got Everton right up the pitch, and they've got a corner.
Left hand side, Gladys Street End. 72 minutes gone. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Here comes the corner from Young. Straight down the goalkeeper's throat. Now Odegaard goes down. But we saw it a lot in the game against Wolves, where the Wolves goalkeeper came and collected nearly every free kick and corner. Those are going to be coming away from the goalkeeper a bit more than they have done, because Everton haven't had many corners, and it's a way for them to create opportunities, but not if the ball's too close to the keeper. Arsenal wasting as much time as they can, but the ball is in play. Eventually it's thrown out underarm to Gabriel. Zinchenko goes back to Saliba. Ben White in the right back position. Short ball for Declan Rice. Declan Rice for Gabriel. It's the Arsenal fans cheering, you can hear in the background. They lead by 1-0. Everton have got another substitute warming up. Looks like it could be Lewis Dobbin. Here's Saka on the right. Threads it through there to Martin Odegaard. Right hand side, lovely ball for Ben White down towards the dead ball line. Chips it in. An attempted volley at the far post by Vieira. Caught it completely wrong, thankfully. And he just squirts behind off his left boot for a goal kick.
It wasn't the pass from Odegaard. It was the disguise. Just a little shimmy. I think it was Mikalenko one way. And in this exactly the same movement, he's rolled it inside him with the outside of his left boot. I think it was a slight deflection, which is why the shot wasn't struck cleanly.
Everton give away possession, but managed to win it back with Idrissa Gana Gueye badgering on the edge of the penalty area. Nice ball for Calvert-Lewin. It's the first time he's had a proper touch of it. Good play from the Everton front man, and just needed
out. Three players
around him, and he needed Idrissa Gana Gueye to get closer to him a bit quicker than he eventually did, and in the end he was outnumbered. 0800 731 9333 on the football phone in. BBC Radio Merseyside. You can text 81333, put the word Mersey before your message, or you can get in touch via WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Everton need to conjure up a goal from somewhere to get back into this game. 15 minutes remain, plus whatever time is to be added on. They trail to that Leandro Trossard goal after 69 minutes. In possession now to the left of centre as Arsenal build from the back with Gabriel. Saliba back to the goalkeeper. We're going to see Arsenal doing this increasingly as the game progresses, I think. Zinchenko collects it, then goes back to Gabriel. Arsenal, long ball forward towards Gabriel Jesus, takes it down inside the penalty. Good defending from Mikalenko eventually to get the challenge in and rob him of possession, but I think Gabriel Jesus allowed the ball to run away from him.
It was Mikalenko who actually took the ball off him, but Branthwaite was in a good position as well. He'd not recovery. Jesus had not got away from him.
Everton edge of the penalty. Idrissa Gana Gueye shoots, skied it completely, got right underneath it, and it's missed by miles.
That's hit the front of the top row, the top balcony of the Gladys Street, just to give listeners an idea of how much he missed by.
At least Everton got themselves in a position to have a crack at goal. They're going to need to do that on a few more occasions if they're going to get anything from this game, because they trailed by 1-0. James Garner is warming up. Chamiti is warming up. Lewis Dobbin is warming up as well. Arsenal go towards halfway. It's flicked on. Good challenge there from Mikalenko in a desperate situation, but it's lofted forward by Trossard towards Odegaard, edge of the penalty, shoots, good save from Pickford, might break for Vieira, inside the box, shoots, fabulous block from Mikalenko, edge of the 6-yard box. He threw himself at the ball, got the block in, and it skied up and went behind for a corner. Vitaly Mikalenko has not had a great start to his Everton career. Lots of occasions when he looks as though he's doing okay, but dips in form, and he's been out of the team for much of this season so far, but he's done a lot better today, Barry Horn.
He's done a lot better in those situations, last-ditch challenges, blocks. But Arsenal would be absolutely furious because they had overloads on all over the place there.
Left and right.
Odegaard should have slipped it to Saka, I think. He's gone for goal himself.
Corner's taken. Chipped in towards the far post. Pickford punches it away, but only as far as Declan Rice's right-hand side. Ben White is there. Ben White, Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka. The amount of times they've been playing in little triangles. Everton about to make another substitution.
Credit Pickford with the save from that last attack.
Yeah.
When he made the save, There's 5 Arsenal players in the penalty area
around him.
They should have scored. And that's inevitable. You know, at the minute Everton have got absolutely 0 out of the game. They've got to try and get a point.
And they've got to get players in advanced position.
So they've got to get players up the pitch. That's a simple fact. Once a team that plays like Arsenal, where you're playing for a 0-0, you sit back, you pack a defence, you do okay for 60, 65, 70 minutes, whatever it was, 75 minutes, then you've got to get a goal, and Arsenal will. They can. The game is in their hands. They can choose to sit back, soak up your pressure, and then just pick you off. And they should have done just offside.
Long ball forward. Trossard looks way offside, by the way. Pickford comes out and deals with it.
Somebody could have been injured there.
Again, the flag goes up.
You know, it's
needlessly late. James Garner is going to come on for Everton. Havertz and Tomiyasu are coming on for Arsenal. And I think maybe are they going to throw Lewis Dobbin on as well? We wait to see. Zinchenko to replace by Tomiyasu. Well, I don't think anybody associated with Everton will be shedding a tear at the thought of Zinchenko going off the field.
No, it's been another wonderful display.
And Everton, Tomiyasu is coming on. Kai Havertz is going to replace the error. Doucouré replaced by James Garner. Wouldn't have been the substitution I'd have made, but there you go.
I don't think you need me to tell you what I would have done. I think the thing with Doucouré, he's always got
a goal
something in him, a goal or a strong run that leads to a goal.
Free kick hit long downfield, headed away by Declan Rice on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Ben White thumps it downfield. Tarkowski deals with it really well, looks across and heads it into the path of Ashley Young, racing back into the right back position. Long ball aimed at Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin might have just got a touch on it. He got really high in the air but was not able to make the impactful contact that he would have wanted. 10 minutes remaining, just a little under, plus whatever's to be added on. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. The football phone is to come on BBC Radio Merseyside. And don't forget, tomorrow night we've got Total Sport Merseyside. If you can't get on tonight, you can get on tomorrow with Paul Salt. We have a 2-hour show every night of the week now, as Everton come forward with Idrissa Gana Gueye. Calvert-Lewin heads it down, but can't find a blue shirt, and Arsenal come forward with Odegaard. Saka running at Mykolenko. Good defending from Branthwaite inside the penalty area. Needs options. Eventually Mykolenko provides one, and then Gabriel Jesus brought Jared Branthwaite down. There weren't enough options for Branthwaite when he had possession.
He was looking for a pass into midfield, and the time it took him to pick a pass or to look for a pass, if there was one there, it had gone, and by now he hasn't got the option to put his foot through it because it's caught under his feet. So Mykolenko, to be fair, gave him a way out, only he messed his clearance up a little bit.
Pickford hits the free kick long downfield. Gabriel ducks underneath it, and it's frustratingly all the way through to David Raya in the Arsenal goal. 1-0 the Gunners lead. 8 minutes remaining.
What would be perfect poetic justice is if the referee adds up all of this time for when Arsenal players have gone down,
that's 10 on,
and Everton score in that added time, and then Mikel Arteta bleats about where the added time came from.
Arsenal throw in right hand side as the ball comes off Idrissa Gana Gueye. Ben White's going to take it. England international, who seems to be frozen out of the picture now with Gareth Southgate, or had been, and then
Kyle Walker or Ben White.
Yeah. Oh, Garner is fouled just about as he gave away possession.
absolutely no choice to be made about which one I'd have in the team. I think Ben White's probably about 5th or 6th in the list of English fullbacks.
He had a time when he was new kid on the block, and Gareth Southgate really fancied him, and then things didn't turn out well for him at the World Cup, and he came back early. But Everton have got a free kick for that foul on James Garner. Jordan Pickford's going to take it 6 or 7 yards short of halfway to the right of centre. Floats it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Tarkowski's there. Heads it on Tarkowski. Branthwaite's there. It's headed skywards. Headed down. Might break for a blue shirt. Danjuma was waiting, but Arsenal got the header in, and then Mikalenko did well to head it into the path of Ashley Young. Forward ball down the line for Garner. Garner gets the attempted cross in.
That's poor by Garner because
he didn't need to.
He's panicked and he's tried to play a cross in there that it wasn't on. He was never going to get past the defender there. He was too close to him. He should have just sat on it, let Everton get back into a position and wait for support.
And it was deflected straight into the path of the goalkeeper, and Arsenal are able to build again. 6 minutes remain at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Ben White in possession. Arsenal building with Bukayo Saka. Back with Declan Rice. Saliba and Gabriel exchange passes once again. Dropping in to pick up possession. Running towards his own defence is Declan Rice. Back with the goalkeeper Raya. Cleared out towards the right hand side. Taken down on the chest by Ben White. Forward to Odegaard. Odegaard has Saka on the right touchline. Receives it now. Infield to Ben White. Then possession for Kai Havertz, one of the substitutes. Finds Leandro Trossard. Havertz goes for the overlapping run. Gets a lovely cross in across the face of goal, but it's actually floated and gone behind. And then Saka doesn't give the ball back, and Everton, with less than 5 minutes remaining.
They're still in the game.
Yeah, they're still in the game.
They're still in the game. One free kick, one corner, one moment of magic.
And they've made a good fist of the challenge, even though they haven't put David Raya under much pressure. Jordan Pickford hasn't been put under much pressure either. Long clearance from Pickford. Calvert-Lewin rises. Wins it in the air, nods it on, and Garner gives chase but can't get there first. As Arsenal clear, then Tarkowski with the challenge on Gabriel Jesus, who hits the deck and has a bleat towards the referee. Pickford races out of goal. Long downfield again. Calvert-Lewin rises again, and this time Garner does manage to pick up the loose, but not for long as Arsenal clear the danger. They're just beginning to sit a little bit deeper, Arsenal now, as Tarkowski slides it forward there. Dwight McNeil, just wrong selection as it slid forward, and Tarkowski wins. And Gabriel Jesus is just flailing an arm there at Everton's James Tarkowski. And that really, if he has a look at it, Nathan Patterson's going to come on. Yusuf Shamiti's going to come on. So we wait to see who they're going to replace. Shamiti will maybe replace Danjuma, I don't know. Or maybe they might take a... Well, I hope Ashley Young hasn't picked up a knock. It doesn't look as though he has, because he's been very good today.
Yeah, I've got to say the whole of the back four can be satisfied with their performances. Branthwaite and Tarkowski in particular. Mikalenko, his defensive performance has been very good, and Ashley Young all round has had a decent game.
Dwight McNeil goes off to be replaced by Yusuf Shamiti. Not being Dwight McNeil's day today, but second half of last season he was absolutely fabulous for Everton, leading goal scorer. He will have other days in a royal blue jersey. Gets the applause of the Gladys Street as he walks off the pitch and walks right around in front of him, and the goalkeeper's come and he's lost it. And why, oh why, the referees seem fit to give a free kick. I just cannot fathom, because it was a challenge for the ball, but the goalkeeper has come rides way off his line, and he rises.
Now it's a free kick. He's been hit as he's airborne. He's been hit, but I think it was Tarkowski. Tarkowski absolutely nowhere near the ball.
Him.
Normally in that situation I would say the goalkeeper's overprotected, but no, that was clearly a foul challenge which prevented
less than 2 minutes remain.
Raya from collecting that ball.
Free kick taken, hit long downfield. Branthwaite heads it away and up towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Arsenal hits it long downfield for Gabriel Jesus, who gets his foot to the ball, but Jarrad Branthwaite did absolutely wonderfully well to restrict his angle of attack towards it, as Calvert-Lewin gets his head on the long clearance downfield but can't find Yusuf Shemiti, and David Raya sprawling gathers the ball to his feet as the sands of time are running out on Everton, but it only takes a second to score a goal. Long high clearance from David Raya, headed on and then headed back by Everton's captain James Tarkowski, who scored the winner in this fixture last season. It'd be fabulous to get a goal in it again, and then Everton a point. Long clearance from Pickford. Arsenal win it, but Amadou Onana's through pass.
Not sure who he was trying to pass to there. I don't think he does.
And Arsenal win back possession, but Everton striding forward with Patterson inside the penalty. Calvert-Lewin pokes it wide. I don't know whether he's trying to set it up for the run of Yusuf Shemiti. His look across says he was. Shemiti never reacted, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Good bit of footballing invention from Calvert-Lewin. Nice bit of play from Patterson to take command of the situation there. We're going to find out how much is going to be added on now. The 90 minutes are up. 4 minutes. Can you believe?
Sean Dyche can't.
At a time when we've had, this season, we've had 13 minutes in halves of matches. And after some disgraceful time wasting from Arsenal, Everton get 4. Where is the logic in it? The answer, there isn't any. 0800 731 9333. Give us a call on the football phone in. Barry Horn and Mike Hughes to take your calls. Amadou Onana heads it down towards Yusuf Shemiti. Shemiti gambled and it didn't come off, and Arsenal have possession back, but Gabriel is put under pressure by Shemiti, and Everton putting them under pressure, and then the ball is cleared and comes off Garner, and Arsenal win a throw-in. We've had almost the first minute of the 4. And they're still wasting time. Throwing down the line, left-hand side. Everton trying to win the ball back in a tight situation, but Gabriel Jesus racing down the line. It's a good challenge from Patterson, but unfortunately, in that situation, there's only one place the ball's going to go, and that's out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal, who lead 1-0. 2.5 minutes remaining of added time as Arsenal take the throw down the left-hand side.
Oh my word, there's 2 Arsenal players down at the moment.
Most theatrical.
That's a ridiculous dive. Absolutely pathetic from Havertz. And there's another player down anyway.
Yeah. As we said before, it's clearly a tactic, and it's, for one of the most talented teams in the country,
pathetic.
They've introduced a ruinous factor to the game that has no redeeming qualities to it whatsoever. Really, and you made the point before, he was a hero here, Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I lost a lot of respect for Eddie Howe, to be honest with you, over this, and I can't believe that Mikel Arteta is. It's obviously a tactic. They know what they're doing.
Forward to Calvert-Lewin. Turn from Calvert-Lewin.
Which means that Mikel Arteta is okay with it, or even telling them to do it.
Calvert-Lewin couldn't hang on to possession as he raced out to the right-hand side and concedes a throw-in.
Imagine if he did that under David Moyes.
He'd get short shrift from the former Everton manager.
Absolutely.
For that. Long throw down the left-hand side from Tomiyasu. Come on for Zinchenko. Just operating as an orthodox left-back when Zinchenko was operating as anything but. His time on the pitch. Good challenge by Mikalenko on Saka. We're in the final minute of added time. And Arsenal still are wasting it. Throw in taken by Ben White for Gabriel Jesus down by the dead ball line.
Goal kick.
And the referee's given a corner when it's been a poor refereeing performance, in all honesty, from Martin Hooper. Made too many mistakes. Has absolutely allowed Arsenal to get away with the whole time-wasting scenario when he could have got a grip on it from the first whistle, or the first time it was done. Challenge comes in, and it's gone behind for another Arsenal corner, has it? But still, we don't want to take it quickly. The 94 minutes are up. Arsenal corner.
And this is something else that players taking the ball into the corner and just keeping it there. Hate it.
And they cross, and it's chested down by Patterson for the goalkeeper. And then the referee blows the final whistle. Diabolical time wasting from Arsenal, and a really weak overall refereeing performance from Martin Hooper, who allowed Arsenal to waste time from quite early on in the first half. Arsenal, the better team, clearly. They had a goal disallowed in the first half for offside after Anana had stopped and allowed a through pass to get through to Martinelli. Excellent finish from the Brazilian, right-footed across the keeper and into the back of the net off the post. But it was ruled out for offside against Eddie Nketiah. Everton, driving run from Abdoulaye Doucouré, looked as though he might have been felled in the box, but the appeals were waved away. Constant time wasting from Arsenal when Ben White in particular and Gabriel and Saliba were going down every time they were challenged. It was the same in the second half. Everton fought and battled gamely, but the only goal of the game came via a right-wing corner after a sliding challenge from Anana had put the ball behind. Taken on the right-hand side, lovely Arsenal build-up play. Bukayo Saka involved, and the ball delivered initially towards the edge of the penalty area for Vieira. He was crowded out, decided not to have a crack at goal, and Arsenal, lovely precise build-up play, and it was turned into the path of the substitute Trossard, who come on for Martinelli in the first half, allowed the ball to come across his body and then rattled it in off the inside of the post past Jordan Pickford into the back of the net. It was the only goal of the game. Arsenal deserved it, you would say, by way of possession. They didn't create very many chances. Everton battled really hard. Their game plan was a good one. It wasn't overly ambitious because it didn't need to be. It couldn't be against a team with so many offensive weapons as Arsenal have. But the one factor that I will always remember from this game is not the result. It's the fact that Arsenal, one of the really great names in English football, ended up time wasting from the first whistle of the match to the last. How there was only 4 minutes added on in the second half is nobody's business, and the referee Martin Hooper really let his officials down. Everton, I think, have got a right to be angry about the fact that they weren't given enough time and weren't allowed the play being constantly broken up by Arsenal's stoppages. There was a tactic from Mikel Arteta, and he should be ashamed of himself. But the bottom line is, it's another home defeat for Everton. They've had 3 home games. They've lost all of them 1-0. There have been encouraging factors in every one of them. Today, not so much in the chances they created because they didn't create too many, but they battled against one of the top teams in the business, and they defended well, and the team shape was good. And some good performances, particularly from Jared Brandtwaite, who I thought was brilliant. But the final score is Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Barry Horn, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, the time wasting leaves the tactical use of time wasting leaves a really sour taste, to be honest with you. And I've lost a lot of respect for Mikel Arteta, having come into this game praising him for building a very, very exciting young squad and I was looking forward to seeing Arsenal play. But take that out of the equation, and Everton were competitive, but they were the second best team on the pitch. And you'd sort of expect that. Arsenal are now joint second with Spurs and Liverpool on 13 points. Played 5-1, 4 drawn 1. So, they're a good team. So I've got no complaints about Everton losing there. They were second best. And you say Arsenal didn't really create that much. Pickford's had to make proper saves. David Raya hasn't had to make any saves. And Arsenal were close to making good chances on numerous occasions, so Everton were second best, but they were competitive, they were still in the game, and they've just got to look forward now to easier games, and they've got to solve the goal scoring problem. Today maybe not the best window into where Everton are, because Arsenal, as I say repeatedly, are a good team with some very, very good players, and Everton didn't have enough of the ball today. I'd like to see the 90-minute stats, statistics where Everton couldn't keep the ball. The players who were on the pitch to play attacking football, to get your chance, to get your goals, hardly had anything to work on. Beto, Danjuma, McNeil had precious
very
little service.
Supply line, did they?
I would say none, if the truth
it's
be
closer.
known. Would be close to very little, yeah. So, this is not a game. This game's come at the wrong time for Sean Dyche, getting Beto in. If we'd have played a Wolves or a Fulham with that team, I'd be willing to put my neck on the block and say we would have got something out of it. But today it was too tough a game for them. Arsenal too good for them. Controlled the game. Literally from start to finish. They did control it from start to finish. That first ball from the kick-off went straight back to the keeper. They kept it for about 2 minutes and nearly got a chance on the end of it. So they're a good team. Everton was second best, but they were competitive today. And they will play teams who are easier to score against than Arsenal, because they'll have more of the ball.
Just a word about Jared Branthwaite, who I thought was outstanding, very, very good today.
Outstanding. Mikalenko didn't offer much going forward, but defended well against a bright talent, Bukayo Saka. We didn't see a massive amount of him, although there was one-on-one situation where he just waltzed past Mikalenko, and I think it was Branthwaite bailed him out, or it might have been McNeil, I'm not sure. But Tarkowski and Branthwaite worked well together. Tarkowski supported Branthwaite very, very well, and Ashley Young was decent at right back. So the back four can go in and say, yeah, well, actually, we're gutted that we lost, but Sean Dyche can say, lads, that was okay. That was okay. You've all done well. Midfield had a little bit of a chasing. Didn't keep the ball well enough. Onana in particular gave the ball away in a couple of areas, and Idrissa Gueye, I have to say, that might have been punished, even though they were, not near our goal. But Arsenal should have punished them. Decore, some good, typical Decore, in and out.
Some good, some
things.
bad, some indifferent.
And then the front three, well, you just got to feel sorry for them. Really, they huffed and they puffed, but had little to work. So Everton have got progressively less good from the back to the front, if you like, and that's because of the way that Arsenal dominated the ball.